Alright, round 3 of the questions this week. How much cardio time do you recommend a newbie to start with? From Natasha. Newbie. I love that word. Cardio time, it really depends. Not everybody is in the same physical state. You know, if you have somebody that's very active at work, they're probably going to be more able to do more with less training time than somebody who sits behind a desk all day. So that's really, it's a little too vague to like give you a very specific time. Now, my recommendation on cardio is a mixture of intervals and steady state. So I think that the best time to do your steady state cardio is first thing on the morning on an empty stomach, if you can. Now this, you have to fit it into your life, but if you could get up and do 30 minutes on a treadmill, on a bike, or just walk outside for 30 minutes first thing in the morning, don't eat anything, you know, drink some water, take a water bottle with you, that's fine, but just get out and walk. And then, not necessarily on the same day, on a different day, you might look into more of the interval type cardio. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. Tabatas work very well, and it's 20 seconds of activity with 10 seconds of rest. And I'm not really a big, I don't really think you have to stick to that, especially at first. If you can go constant movement for 20 seconds, but you need 30 seconds to rest, that's fine. You know, you've got to build into it. But so what you would do is you would do your 20 seconds of movement, your 30 seconds of rest, 20 seconds of movement, 30 seconds of rest, and try to get about 5 to 8 minutes. And then you just try to cut down the rest time until you're at about 10 seconds. And then maybe increase the duration. Not really any more than 8 minutes. That's kind of your body's threshold, of what it needs or what it wants to do. So, but do that later on in the day after you've had food. It's more conducive at that time to your weight loss goals and conditioning goals. But the combination of both will kind of net you the most benefit, especially at first. And when I talk about constant movement, I mean, you can do jumping jacks, you can jog in place, you can do air squats, you can do, if you're really adventurous, you can do burpees. There's a lot of things. You can do it with weights. You can kind of Google the Tabata, and there's a lot of things that will come up. Body weight exercises, kettlebell exercises, dumbbells. And so it's really fluid in what it allows you to accomplish and with what equipment. But the walking first thing in the morning on an empty stomach is one of the best ways to start, because it allows your body to burn more of the fat stores, and especially for a diabetic, it's going to help to bring your insulin resistance down. That's typically the highest first thing in the morning. So it's kind of a dual benefit right there. So that's kind of my recommendation. And then the next question from Jim is general fitness recommendations for a newbie. Okay, well, I've covered the cardio part, so let's go into the anaerobic training aspect. So when you're starting out, especially if you are coming from a desk job or one of very low activity, you need to be able to move your body through space. Okay, and what I mean by that is you don't need to really pick up a lot of weights at first. You need to hone in on some base technique. You need to learn how to squat correctly, barring injury. I've got to throw that big stipulation up there. If you've had both knees operated on and half your spine fused, maybe you don't need to do a bodyweight squat. Just saying. But if you're healthy, other joint wise and everything, then try to learn how to squat. Squatting correctly is one of the most core movement patterns the human body does, and it's one of the most beneficial because once again your body tries to maintain its homeostasis. It tries to maintain where it is at any point in time. So it doesn't want to lose weight. It doesn't want to get in better shape. You have to make it. And to do that, you need to use things that exhibit a lot of stress on the body. And a bodyweight squat is more stressful than, standing there lifting a pink dumbbell. or chrome dumbbell, whatever. So, but then you learn, you develop overall body strength by doing things like this. Push-ups are another big one. Learn how to do a push-up correctly. For women, start on your knees. There's zero shame in that. Even men too. If you can't do a full body weight push-up in the plank position, don't. Nobody's judging you. This is about your journey to a better you. And so start with what you're capable of doing and then build from there. So that's, learn how to move your body through space. Pull-ups are another great one. Now, if you can't do a bodyweight pull-up on your own, there are bands that you can buy, or you can put a chair underneath the pull-up bar and use your legs to assist you up and down. But that's another one of the very core basic ones that you can learn how to do. If you really just want to dive into weight training, start off really light. Learn proper form, learn proper technique, learn what muscles you're actually trying to activate and use. This went back to an earlier video where I said there's a lot of misinformation out there. So don't just pick up a magazine and read it and say, this is what I'm going to do. Because there may be a lot of other things that come into play for you in particular that the magazine doesn't cover. The writer doesn't know you. He doesn't know anything about your situation. So how is this program designed for you when the writer, the author, doesn't know who you are or anything about you? So but do the research and you'll kind of be able to piece together how the human body works, how it's supposed to move, and then you'll understand certain things are going to be better for you to do than others. So that's kind of the two general rule of thumbs to use starting out. Do both types of cardio, learn how to move your body weight through space, and always try to progress. Whether it's cutting your rest times down on your cardio, or your rest times down on the weight sometimes, or trying to get one more rep than you did the week before. The last thing to go up should be weight. So if you do go into the weighted portion of lifting, if you can get 2 or 3 more reps every week, once you get to about 15 or 20 reps, well, then add weight. And so that way it keeps you building without running into as much risk of injury. So that's my recommendations for those 2 questions, and there's still more videos to come, so hang in there. If I haven't got to you yet, I appreciate the help, the questions. Y'all are awesome. Keep them coming.